Hello and welcome to the TKC Bible Reading Challenge powered by Grace Bible Mission. I'm Joshua and I have with me...
I'm Peace.
Today's reading is from Genesis chapter 15 to 18. And quite some interesting things happened.
Yeah, interesting things indeed.
Okay, so let's us go through what is in today's reading. In today's reading, we see God's covenant with Abram. It was yesterday that we had Abram rescuing Lot.
Yes.
Was it Abram or Abram?
At that time, it's still Abram.
So Abram rescuing Lot. And we see in today's episode that God made a covenant with Abram, and then we have the place where Sarah decided to fulfill God's covenant with Abram by herself. Or what do you call that?
They tried to work things out by themselves.
Yeah, so Sarah was like, well, God has made a covenant to you. This is Hagar. Perhaps she is the one that
Perhaps.
that
Who
God
knows?
will bring out the covenant from. And after that, we see God coming again to say, like, I'm making a covenant with you, Abraham. And then he brings circumcision. He tells them that he will establish his covenant with them and all of that. You still have to read the text by yourself.
Yes.
So we're not giving you the entire thing. But Peace, tell me, did anything stand out to you in today's text?
A lot stood out to me, and I even had to write out like 2 questions that I'm personally going to go and look for answers to. But that's for me. That's personal.
That's for you. You don't want to share the questions?
No, not yet, because I don't have the answers yet. So it's not.
I could have the answers. Who knows?
No, it's not something we can discuss in this 10 minutes.
Okay.
But what I can share is that I was looking at the progression.
Okay.
From chapter 14. At the end of chapter 14, we see how the king of Sodom offered Abram at that time, some reward for rescuing them, right?
Okay.
But he said, no, I will not take this, because I will not allow anybody to say that it is them that made me. But guess what?
That was in chapter 14.
That was in chapter 14.
Yeah.
But when we now started chapter 15, we now see that something happened. His conversation with God, that was first place I knew that, okay, apparently money was not Abraham's issue.
Yeah.
His issue was he needed a child. And then we saw the temptation that Sarah, okay, we will say that Sarah actually tempted him, or the temptation came through Sarah.
I don't even know. I just
She
I don't even know what to say, but go on.
We can see a man who stood confidently and said, no, I will stand on the Lord's side.
Yeah.
And then his wife offered him a servant, and there was no single form of resistance. The Bible didn't say he said no. He didn't even say no, and maybe Sarah convinced him.
Wait, when you say offered the maid, do you mean like as a living sacrifice?
Give us child now.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. That was in the text.
To give us her son.
Yeah, but can you really blame Sarah? They've been looking for a child for so long, and maybe this is the way that God, according to our own ideas, this is how God would fulfill the covenant, the promise.
If it is something that will cause you to go out of your way to sin, something that God will not be pleased with, then it is not God's way.
Okay, so are you saying that sometimes, or when God makes promises to us, it will never take us, like, maybe into something that is sinful? For instance, let me give you an instance.
Okay.
So God promised me that I'm going to have, in case you're not listening from West Africa, we do these exams after secondary school. It's called WAEC. So God promised me that in WAEC I would have 9 A's.
Okay.
And I get to math and I don't know anything anymore. So are you saying that if I ask somebody, like asking somebody could be a way of God fulfilling the promise? Are you saying that cannot, like, that is ruled out completely?
Anything. I'm saying anything and everything that will cause you to do something that does not align with what God has told you. your instruction, that your conscience will tell you that no, this is wrong, and you are trying to do it to answer, to get God's way out, it's not God's way. Because if actually it was God's way, we see in a further along the way, God said that son Ishmael is not my own.
Yeah.
It's your own. Okay, I'm still going to do my own. But the point I'm trying to raise there is that there's sometimes that we think we are so strong, we are so confident. You passed the first temptation, you didn't fall. You went through the second temptation, you didn't fall. But then when the devil now really offers you that thing you are desperate for, you might just fall yakata. So don't really think you are so strong.
Yeah, especially if you think you are strong. I think thinking that you are strong without God is the beginning of falling.
That is it. Removing God from it and thinking you are strong, you can face that thing that you're looking at and be like, no turning back. Oh God. By the time that thing you're desperate for comes to meet you, the eagerness to rush into it without thinking twice.
Yeah.
It's just frightening. If Abram can fall, who are me?
From what I can tell, it would have been nice if Abram actually went to God and was like, God, Sarah is saying that I should go on to Hagar. Is this what you would want?
Way?
Like, can I go on? I feel like God would have given him an answer.
You will give him answer.
Yeah, because this same Abram was like, God, seeing that I go childless, and this Eliezer of Damascus is my heir. I don't know how he was saying it to God, like, this guy that I don't know is my heir. And God spoke to him and reassured him. So I'm sure that if Abraham actually went to God, like God would have
answered him. God would have told him.
God would not have inquired. So we are almost out of time. Let me share a point too.
Yeah,
because you've been dishing. It's like you went to prepare to come and dish. All right. So the point that I would like to share is how that in chapter 17, when God came to Abram again to give him the covenant of circumcision, that they should be circumcised and all of that, that God was trying to make a promise with him. He was like, walk before me and be perfect and all of those things. There is a lot in that. I don't think we can discuss these 3 chapters in 10 minutes, but we are trying our best. Now, the part that I really want to highlight is when God was speaking to Abram, and Abram would interject at around verse 17, 18. Let me read it. So it says, and Abram fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old?
Mm-hmm.
And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And based on what he was thinking in his heart, then he spoke out. That's not in the text, by the way. In verse 18, he said, and Abram said unto God, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. Like, I feel like at that point, God was saying beautiful things, and Abram believed, but it was just like, let Ishmael live. Like, okay, yes, you're going to bring Isaac, but let Ishmael live. And you know what God did?
Yes.
God did not really. If it were a human being would have said,
given him a very good knock.
You are not wise.
A very good knock.
You are foolish.
Like,
but
are you not listening?
You are not a man of faith. But in verse 19, God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. So, to take from that, we see that God understands the language of our pain as well.
Yes.
He understands what we are saying before we say it.
And knows the state of our mind.
Yeah, and you see that God did not immediately go and say, yes, Ishmael will live. Like, God still went back to, what I want to do upon the earth
is what I want to do.
What I will do. Now, the point that you have made too, I will consider it, but still, the son of promise is Isaac. And we are out of time for today. But in tomorrow's reading,
we're reading Genesis 19 to 22.
And some interesting things happened there. Like, we saw fire.
Fire rain down.
Like fire, like rain.
Let your glory. Oh. No, not like these people.
But they did experience the fire and rain of God. So, like fire, like rain, it fell. And we will be seeing you in the next episode. Hopefully, you are not under the fire and that's rain.
God forbid bad thing.
All right, so we leave you with the grace of God. May God's grace and may God's peace be upon you and upon your family. Do have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.